you feel like you're forced to here on this one is, and when we were on the break, you were like, what are some of the maps coming up, right? Like Esperanza, Lijiang Tower, like those feel like some decent Reinhardt maps, right? So maybe London, you got a little bit of a map to play with, see how you fare here on this dive. And the Shock looks like they will come out and play Proper on the Tracer and Probe on the Sombra. I feel like this is probably what a lot of their fans wanted to see throughout this series.
Yeah, I mean, this has me sitting up, and it's crazy to say that about the most commonly seen composition in the league right now, right? This Sombra Tracer dive. But I want to see how London look on it, especially up against a team like San Francisco, who by rights should be very solid at this look. So San Francisco, again, have like the defensive tweak on that, having Lukemino on the Brigitte, but here's where we get to see if London can hang in the composition.
Yeah, and I think there's something about momentum here, as maybe we won't get a chance to see if they hang on the composition. Maybe we'll see that.
Matt, they're doing it!
Yeah, just do it.
They're going with Ryan! They can't get through the gap, though. That's all that Backbone sets up to him to try and catch someone is, well...
It feels like, you know, in the NFL, right, it's all about throwing the ball down the field, and then, like, the London Spitfire is stuck in the Stone Ages of, like, no, let's just run the ball right up the middle 1,000 times a game, right? It just feels like they're just like, you know, we're just going to brute force Reinhardt no matter what. We're going to figure out a way to make it work.
Hey, I mean, they got Hadi, so they got a running quarterback. You know what I mean? He's just getting down there, no worries. Ain't passing to nobody. Okay, so we're in the car wash here. And London Spitfire trade. They lose Admiral.
You don't want to play the Reinhardt down here, right? You don't want to like run into the Reinhardt Sim May down here in this part of the map, right?
No, you were joking about this, I feel. In the break, talking about like running the Sim on this map, play Reinhardt on this map. You said, well, this is, I guess, the way you enable that. Just give Hadi that extra bit of mobility.
If you are committed to this Reinhardt like playstyle, where if you're gonna run the sim, on Eichenwald point B, right, to keep the Reinhardt in the mix, you feel like if you're that dedicated, you're gonna do it here too, right? This is gonna be an EMP.
I'm ecstatic. I'm ecstatic seeing this. They still get the Immortality field out, do the Spitfire despite the EMP coming in. And London's still pretty healthy. Landon's got a great perch up here around this May wall. TP to the high ground. All of a sudden, Hadi's going to be coming in from the top rope, and Probe has to pull on out. Proper. Okay, yeah, back to spawn with him. And here come the London Spitfire now to deal with Junbin. Able to find Admiral, who was hit with a biter grenade prior to the fact. Probe drops down. I think Renko's up there somewhere. Yeah, very out of position. Oh Easy. My goodness. San Francisco, they are not sure what to do about this.
No, and in this sim, right, you're just getting such great value about, like, you see Hadi TP'd everywhere, up on the high ground, getting back to teammates, now getting up here on top of the ship. You know, who needs a Winston leap, right, when you got a sim TP? Just get Hadi in the mix, let him swing.
It's a return of the Chad Ryan. He's back. Never really left, but now he's showing up some of these cops.
They're getting a good amount of payload progress right now.
He just forced Primal. For what? For like no reason. I mean, Junbin to stay alive, obviously, that's the reason. I don't think Junbin got stunned by that. It doesn't seem, maybe a little bit too high up. So. Ryan can do some weird stuff like that with the cart and some sort of angled surfaces. There's no way you hit the Genji there. I think Backbone trolls Hadi, who was attempting a pin on proper Nano Genji.
The Shock are investing so much in this. That's the Nano, the Rally, Primal, and I mean, yeah, that is like just about everything. As look at this, I mean, poor Renko stuck behind enemy lines again. He's going to fall as that is the second checkpoint taken. 5 minutes in the time bank. I mean, this is dominant here.
That is the third turret kill for SparkR in that fight. Probe walks up at like 1 HP, unstealth, and a turret just goes zap and kills him on the San Francisco up.
Oh, man.
Having a tough time. London here set up around the Cassidy Sombra, so obviously...
Hey, you shouldn't be laughing. I've seen you just kind of walk into chokes aimlessly, die to turrets as well.
No, it's just so out of place though, because you know, obviously I don't claim to be professional, but there's less ability for Hadi here to get in people's face all of a sudden. This is going to be his biggest challenge, right? Getting value for the ride pick here, I think is going to be a struggle.
Well, I mean, look, there is lots of high ground here for the Shock to use. You know, a large area of the map that you kind of have to traverse here for the Spitfire to get back towards the payload. And I mean, look at Reinhardt, right? You just have this shield that can face one way. There are 2 high ground opportunities here on either side of the Reinhardt shield that you could do big damage from.
Yeah, you really have to play this very carefully as London. They can absolutely make it work, but losing Landon there to a random kunai, it's not great. Oh, probe, yep, so able to pull out there, no dramas. Lukemino surged forward here and it's just poking for the time being. So stabilization for San Francisco, still 345, so plenty of time for London to come up with an answer, or maybe even just Backbone gets EMP and everything falls over from there. Something to keep an eye on, I think, is there.
Right, like, well, that's the thing. What are you playing for here if you're London, right? Is it like a map completion with a ton of time, or is it just a map completion overall? Like, if you're just looking for map completion, right? You know, you play around this EMP and then you get another EMP and you're kind of in a good spot to get that, make that happen. That looks like a shatter that did not connect with anybody, at least, you know, just kind of looking at the top of the screen. Nobody knocked down, so shatter goes for naught.
Yeah, primal here from Junbin there is London Spitfire at least. Like, able to keep SparkR back around that corner, right? Junbin gets exposed! I mean, SparkR playing out of line of sight of that high ground there. Proper, though, comes in. He's nanoed, but thinks the blade probably unnecessary right now, and I think experts will agree with you, sir.
Yeah, but so the nano's gone, so you're going to have a blade, but they're going to end up having a sound barrier on the other side. It's just Admiral's probably a little bit cautious, right, with that EMP that he knows is available from Probe.
Yeah, both teams. It's a very volatile fight coming up here. So a nanoless blade, EMP potential there. Probe and Proper can definitely combine those two. Backbone goes for the EMP in the high ground. Renko not able to do too much there. Gets caught out completely. And Proper felled by a fire strike of all things. It's a very late EMP. And it allows Lukemino at least to snap up Landon, but Probe falls after the fact here, and Junbin's not going to fare much better. He just gets dumpstered on the cart. And the hack here doesn't quite complete. Proper now hit by it, so he's forced to stand and look as the cart gets home.
Bro,
make no mistake.
They're just dunking on him. I mean,
this is not normal. This is very, very strange. It is a 2 minute, 10-second time bank with Ryan only, mono Ryan from Hadi.
See it as well. Like I love how we have the player cams. Like, and Renko's been awesome to watch. He's been so like happy, and he's there just kind of like had his hands on his head, like what in the world is going on? I mean. We were joking, like, oh, there's no way they're going to come out and play Reinhardt. They come out and play Reinhardt, just basically take the first 2 points instantly using, like, sim TPs moving all the way around. And then there at the end, you know, it is the shock. They hold for, you know, about, like, what, 2 minutes, 50 seconds there at the end, right? So they put together a little bit of something, but it's not significant. I mean, 2 minutes and 10 is a good amount of time.
So SparkR is, 11 of 18 of his team's final blows on that Cassidy. Feels like London are taking fights in positions where he can't really be threatened by the Shock's DPS, and Junbin gets just left out in the open. He's 1 in 6 right now. Granted, we know it's not easy to play Winston into these Reinhardt setups, right? It's very challenging. You don't want to get caught in the front line at all. You need to be very careful about where you choose to fight.
I'm curious what we see from play on offense now, the Shock. Like, it feels like you don't need to kind of get in your head here and kind of play anything crazy.
No, that's London's job. They are aware. They will bully him off the high ground with Junbin. Proper on the Junkrat, Probe on the Bastion. Very based team composition, I'm not going to lie to you. They're going to go with this. Oh man, I'm getting everything I could have asked for from this series, Matt.
I mean, the Junk Bastion is like, we need to just do tons of damage to get this Reinhardt out of the way. Force him off Reinhardt in any way. Those pesky sim turrets, though, in the way. See Proper almost fall to one there.
Probably getting...
that is a pin directly out of Junkrat.
He's going to get him. He's going to get him.
He's not.
Okay. All right. Proper, though, down eventually to Admiral. But San Francisco's a very unconventional composition succeeds here, I guess, in their objective. Deal with this Reinhardt. So absolute discord in the ranks. Proper staying on the Junkrat here. So
do more damage.
I guess this is like the pirate ship, but without Orisa having a static shield. No Baptiste here.
No Bap. Yeah, I mean, it's you know, it's just got kind of like the same, some of the same heroes, but it's nowhere close. Junbin gets caught a little bit there by the May wall, but
okay. Oh my! That looked like it would be very scary, but the immortality film got thrown down. Hadi charges out of that side alcove and connects with Proper. Landon deals with Probe. Now Junbin's gonna have to go for it. There is the Terror Surge available here. I don't think you just go for it, right? Wait for maybe the sound barrier to dissipate somewhat, but Probe's back in the fight.
Maybe, I mean, look at this. Hadi's like off to the side playing off his health pack. It's not hacked or anything. I mean, he's in a terrible spot. Yeah, you'll get him out of the way. It seems like London just kind of throwing their bodies at fights, just take as many fights as they can. That's kind of the goal here, where with so much of this damage and then obviously the ability for a res, it's pretty difficult. This shield should be pretty impactful though.
Look, oh, the Terror Surge still caught. Oh, SparkR, okay, going down to the remote mine. The boot just beforehand by Admiral looked very effective. You saw Junbin with no one reading that ultimate. Hadi, fire strike upstairs, takes down Proper's tire. Okay, seen everything now. Lukemino going to go for the Valkyrie here as Proper finds another remote mine connection. This time it's Landon to fall. Playing safe, playing from the periphery is Lukemino. Proper's very low, still giving a good account of himself. It's backbone eventually to find that kill, but Junbin is so hard to move right now. The Javelin claims SparkR, and the San Francisco shot continue to bully through. Let's talk about this comp now. Let's take a moment to discuss why this is finding success against a Reinhardt rush.
Well, look, I mean, you just have so much damage output, right? Between the Junkrat and the Bastion, decent survivability there. With the Orisa, right? So it can fortify, spin to win on the payload. Makes it very difficult to kind of get that Orisa out of the way. And it also makes it difficult for the Reinhardt to get in and make big impact because there's so much damage being put on that shield.
London up to drop down now. Seems like a scary prospect, but what choice do they really have with this composition? They need Simp in the fight. They need May close enough to find impact as well. Scary stuff, and it's going to be a shatter from Hadi. Admiral able to take Proper down from behind, I think, but Junbin finds a second kill in the fight. Seems like a very good choice against the Reinhardt. Works down that shield, and when Reinhardt gets close, it's so hard to ship that Orisa. Maybe it's time for a switch for London. I don't think their comp is really tooled to deal with this.
And no, it's not. I think if you're London, you're probably just kind of considering, did you sit a good enough time here where you can just kind of just throw your body at some of these fights, and eventually it's going to be really difficult for them to run this composition, and you're going to be in the spot to win. As Hadi takes a Sim TP around the corner, that'll be the Terror Surge here, as a Biotic Grenade actually hits Hadi, so he's going to be very difficult to keep up.
Yeah, that air matrix is massive. Matt SparkR getting a lot out of the right clicks through that one, and eventually London find the answer. It's at the cost of 3 ultimates, but being able to stabilize against this kind of dynamic comp from San Francisco, absolutely critical.
Yeah, so we'll see now how the Shock use this composition, kind of like pushing in, right? Where there's not a lot of long-range damage here from the Spitfire, but you know, you can do some damage between Backbone, Landon, you know, Admiral, SparkR, right? You know, and it's not going to be significant. It's going to be chip damage, but there's no speed to get the Shock like in position to really make a play. No way for them to access this high ground. So even that chip damage is going to be pretty impactful.
Series is on the line for San Francisco. They had better hope this Orisa comp can carry them to victory and perhaps create the opportunity for a reverse sweep. Upstairs goes Proper. Just looking for some shield damage here. Scratch the paint a little bit, keep Hadi honest. Hadi doesn't want to drop down, but he's about to have no choice. Proper now has the high ground to send his Riptire from. That's a scary prospect. Nice teleporter, bro. Shame if I just blew it to smithereens before he could use it. Admiral down, Probe's able to find that kill. Here comes the Riptire. Proper coming down with it. Catches that immortality field, and SparkR is going to fall right after. Not a great start for London here as Hadi gets mowed down by Probe.
Yeah, I mean, what do you expect, right? When you kind of just charge into the Bastion. If they're able to keep that Bastion alive, there is nothing you're going to be able to do about that. So it'll be 247 and counting here for the Shock to potentially take this final checkpoint. And I think London, look, you're fully committed to the bid at this point, right? You're going to have to try and take like 3 fights here. If you win like 1 of them, you're in a pretty good spot to at least get a hold with no time on the clock. You know, I'd like to see them actually get pretty aggressive here, and they do that behind the sim wall.
Sim wall so important. Probe really now forced to a range where his turret finds no value. Proper down, Hadi found the charge there. This is sick. We just don't get to see this every day. Make sure you start up and paying attention, because these two teams are showing us some very rare looks. Looks like Fortify wasn't available for Junbin, or he wasn't ready for Hadi to come in, because that charge well and truly connected. Now the man himself has a shatter on deck.
And this is how you need to play this if you're the Spitfire, right? You're going to have a few players coming back off spawn here in just a second, so that may be a little bit of a window here for the Shock to make something happen, but you play aggressive, right? You have Shatter, you have Blizzard, right? Draw out the clock. That's the game here for the Spitfire.
Okay, trying to isolate Junbin here. That scary prospect when Terror Surge is afoot. And that's Javelin catching SparkR. Nice shatter, I've got to say it. Probe knocked to the ground, but able to pick himself back up. And Proper is nanoed right now. The Blizzard follow-up basically essential. I think there's no way to get rid of Probe if they don't let that one go there. London are spending these ultimates hand over fist. but I think it's worthwhile. And going to the next fight with a sound barrier, it's got to feel pretty good.
Yeah, it's fine if you're London, right? I mean, you have such an advantage in terms of the time bank. The goal here is to play aggressive, right? You know, force them to use some ultimates here, get the cart moving, and get into OT. This is a not an awesome spot to potentially be in. It looks like though. I mean, Hadi just gonna play off this mega? Is that kind of the plan here?
Yeah. They can speed boost him back into the fight. Admiral gets caught out. Okay, so that plan is scuttled. Hadi now shield eventually going to break down. He'll be broken through.
That Matrix here.
Yep, they're going to try and use the window. SparkR's able to find 2 kills. One of them, turret kill by the way. Chalk another one up. Backbone very low, evidently without.
So fortunate there.
I mean, yeah, I guess you make your own luck in some senses though. Like they get 2 kills, I think, immediately after that air matrix comes down. I think 1 because of that damage amp. And they know they're going to be back in time here, 30 seconds. So they bleed a lot from the clock. There won't be a nano for Proper's blade here either.
And you're not super worried about this Bastion ultimate, right? I mean, you're more worried about this, blade that's going to come through here from Proper, but you have that sound barrier. Just be aggressive, push through it.
Admiral, maybe unaware that Proper is perched up on that high ground. That Bastion ultimate, not much from that, but it's going to be Proper getting rid of Hadi, so that very volatile threat already taken out of the picture here to the high ground goes Proper. That's 1, that's 2 with the blade and make it 3. Proper is all over this one. Now needs to deal with SparkR, and that is going to be a matter of course here. San Francisco run out of time, sure enough, but the Terror Surge will herald their arrival at the end of the map. It's Hadi flattened. San Francisco get themselves a minute to play with, but London get that extension.
And they never got a use of their sound barrier, right? I mean, I know you're saving it for that blade, but maybe the sound barrier to just keep Hadi alive with where you are in terms of the clock, state of the game, is an opportunity to potentially win that one there for the London Spitfire. So they let the shock linger around, hang in this game.
I'm loving it. I mean, it took San Francisco quite some time to adapt to what London were throwing at them. And you have to wonder, like, to what degree the coaches are in their ears. Like, I guess they can't really be sort of during a round. So someone in San Francisco was like, guys, stop. Pick this comp. We're going to play Orisa Junk, Bastion. We're going to beat these guys, or we can handle these guys at least, give ourselves a chance, because they're obviously not going to mirror this right style.
But what a here, like the shock on offense, right? Are you gonna play the Junkrat again? It looks like Proper maybe hovering over the Genji here. Had some, pretty big impact.
I like the Genji from Proper, because if London choose a comp that leaves a loose end of theirs on the high ground to punish the fact that the Shock are playing a brawl style, Proper can go upstairs and probably just 1v1 whoever that might be. So having that Genji there, for that degree of flexibility, like Tracer won't give that to you because she lacks that verticality. So I wouldn't mind it. Junkrat, less of a duelist perhaps. Definitely a threat. Don't be fooled. But yeah, and look, you feel like having the Farah here as well.
Yeah, I mean,
why not?
It's just big splash damage, right? So, you lose your Mercy, and you lose your Bastion. I mean, that is tough. So looks like Proper going to be forced back into spawn. So you're going to do a change here?
Like, in theory, I like the Farah Mercy because it's not like the Nepal Village where London have amazing places to play from with this composition, right? They have to challenge the car, and the car doesn't have any intrinsic cover for them like that Village point does. So really, you should stick with this, I think, and it looks like they're going to do that, but someone needs to finish these kills from Proper. Proper both are good at chipping down and wearing away at health pools, but at completing the kills, sometimes it can be an issue.
Yeah, I mean, Hadi was so low, and they actually just get him right up towards the spawn door there. 7 seconds on the clock. The payload is moving here.
Oh!
Pretty much a full team wipe from Proper himself.
Yeah, 4 kills for Proper there. I think Probe got 1 in the mix, but yeah, London, I get, show the weaknesses of that Ryan Cop against the Farah look here, but yeah, we know at this point, they're not expected to change it up at all.
Nope.
So, overtime, GP's available for London. They need to make use of those.
Impactful here.
Too late for Admiral to be kept alive, and then 3 players down to the barrage of Proper. 4 kills, the Nano gives him 5, and Proper makes it 9 kills in the last 2 fights to send San Francisco on a rendezvous with this first checkpoint, and they're still alive in this attack.
So it looks like he was maybe going back to the spawn. I wonder if you're going to pull out the Genji here. It's going to be Reaper. I mean, we're just playing everything here for the shock. So they'll get a Reaper in the mix to brawl a little bit on that point, just provide some help for Junbin.
Contesting that high ground as well.
Up there, you saw his face.
Yeah, he got a little bit more than he bargained for there, suffice to say. Okay, Landon down, or rather downing Probe. There is a symbol in play here, but it's not enough to keep SparkR alive. Junbin just wants to stay here. The Blizzard, they might make this problematic. He didn't have a Fortify to walk out of this, but he's been pocketed. It's not enough. Backbone's able to take him down, and the sound barrier here for the London Spitfire. They alight from the high ground, more like the top rope, and they take San Francisco to task. So volatile, so back and forth, but San Francisco set a decent pace, a decent length here in this overtime.
Is it enough? I think that's kind of the. I mean, it is a pretty good push there from the Shock, especially considering they only had a minute on the clock. But it definitely seems like they figured out a little bit of something here, having this bash in the mix, like a rotating door of some other damage dealers. We'll see if they play that on D.
We saw London get value with the Reinhardt composition, using those Symmetra TPs at just the right times. Really taking San Francisco by surprise. The Shock genuinely have to be prepared for anything, and playing around the Symmetra is a difficult thing to do. You don't have a lot of warning, you don't have a lot of time. So yeah, Junbin here, no Fortify. So Backbone gets this Blizzard for free.
Eating headshots.
Oh my goodness, that mercy kill.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. He is back in a big way. London rotating Backbone back into the lineup after giving Sauna a run. Man, looking like a whole different beast, this team.
Some Reinhardt play here from the Shock on defense. So it's going to be the Rein here with the Bash in the mix. So the Bastion seems like it's definitely made an impact, made it very difficult for them to get Hadi into position with enough health pool to do some big damage.
What do you make of this? The Widow? How long do you stay on this pick for? Maybe just one pick? Against the May, I like it a lot.
It feels like it's just, it feels like, yeah, maybe just to try and get a pick, get the payload moving there, yeah. So lead Backbone over to the May, so.
It does create a bit of space for you, I guess, as your team wants to get off the start. Oh, okay, TP high ground. San Francisco forced to play from low. These teams have switched places, Matt.
But do you mind this, though, if you're the Shock, right? As long as you still create this distance, that they have to kind of run towards you with that bash, and you kind of feel okay with it. Yeah, Junbin can just kind of contest the car from here. Just burn the clock away. That's going to be Pro picking up a kill on the back foot.
SparkR wants to try and make use of the charge he's built here. TP's into the back line, but losing Backbone, that hurts. He'll be off spawn soon. Renko gets the immortality field for him. Great timing to let that one go, but Probe is down, and now that shield pressure war in the front line is going to be immensely more difficult to win. Which what may Renko, I guess, can help out there, but San Francisco lose the key piece of the puzzle.
Yeah, and it's for the Shock. Can you get everybody out here, right? You're trying to just escort everybody out. Hadi and co are just pushing on through. So you're probably looking at, what, another fight or two here, potentially, depending on what happens now.
They've isolated him. Oh, he's on his own.
Oh, yeah.
The May wall there to keep Junbin in place. The Bastion is here. Hadi trying to keep a respectful distance. The immortality field just blinking out of existence as soon as it was deployed by both teams. And Renko gets caught out of position. When it comes to the brawl, London Spitfire are a cut above. Hadi will cancel that charge and deal with the May. And it'll be London knocking on the door of the shuttle phase.
Yeah, so they're going to get really close to checkpoint A here. I think the Shock are going to have another opportunity to contest. I think it's just what kind of happens here, right? Like, if you're the Shock, like, do you just throw everything at this fight potentially? As looks like they're going to try and come out of this right small door, but they got to make, the May wall is going to prevent them from touching. No, they're going to barely get there.
And they come out with a flourish, Matt. Probe gets rid of Admiral straight away. Air Matrix hastily deployed, and it's a different maker for San Francisco here. London are going to be sub 1 minute to try and at least get this checkpoint, let alone equal the Shock's distance.
For a second there, it didn't look like they were going to be able to get a touch. I mean, Hadi just still on the flank. There's all Renko could do is laugh. As the Shock, they only have to invest the Air Matrix there eventually. You're able to hold on to a lot of these key ultimates going into this next fight.
It's going to be a tale of two Earth Shatters in this next engagement. I think Hadi really needs to stun Probe with that ult. Otherwise, his shield will just cease to exist. Backbone plays the corner here. Maywall could be big, and look at that one. Over the top, though. Renko's able to get up there with the Exo boots. Of course, Lucio can circumvent that wall. Here's the sound barrier for San Francisco, and SparkR might be caught inside the Blizzard proper. Trying to get his way to the backline. He's frozen him stiff. Shatter in the backline, but it's Probe to find Landon through the immortality field. London, though, still surging ahead. Hadi's able to find Junbin here, so the tank war is won, but Probe's an issue. Maywall going to be thrown out, but it's not going to stop Hadi here. The card's going to be a concession. 2 seconds left into overtime now. London charge up here, and they'll get rid of Proper. They've made it to the shuttle phase. They've got one more chance to get this done.
Yeah, they don't have much further to go as well with that payload. You see the box of victory there on the screen. Is now SparkR's going to end up bringing out a bastion of his own. The series on the line.
No ultimates for either team. The first may well be the Amp Matrix, if that. The high ground is where the Shocker perch, but they're going to have to come down and challenge the interlopers. It'll be Junbin dropping first, but Spark is in position. Maywall to break up some of the damage from the turret, but he gets rid of the immortality field. It's going to be tough for Probe to make something happen here, but he's found 2 from the high ground, getting it done without the tank mode. Now eyes towards SparkR. Popper's taken down. The target he had to. And San Francisco get the dub in the most ridiculous situation I've seen this season.
It was crazy.
Both teams playing completely off the wall. And London fall just short of ending the series.
Yeah, I mean, that is a very close competitive map that I think the Spitfire probably would love to have back there towards the end, because you know, they had such a great time bang, Mitch. It's just this Bastion kind of composition. The Shock have really started to figure out what works against this Reinhardt.
I don't know how many maps are going to afford you this situation. It was a rare treat from both teams. But we know that San Francisco are one of the teams that have tried to make the Orisa work, even on control, earlier on in the season, right? They feel pretty comfortable bringing her into some of these compositions. Junbin's got this pool, right? It's just, you know, Wrecking Ball, Orisa. Again, Winston still not really brought out here for San Francisco, but they find the answer at just the crucial time. It is literally the 11th hour that San Francisco hold back the tide of the London Spitfire. What a way to win on a map that usually dictates dive comps. Neither roster going for that at all.
Yeah, I mean, just a really bizarre, like, you don't see these kind of compositions on Gibraltar, right? This is where you expect to see dive really the entire time from the beginning of time in Overwatch. As London, they've committed. This is what they're going to do today, and quite frankly, it has worked for the most part, except when the Shock decide to start playing this Bastion, comboing it with many different things.
Yeah, really, really pleased to see a proper massive blade here to give San Francisco a chance at this. Remember, they come into this map on 2 minutes and 10 seconds behind. Yeah, that is a distinct disadvantage. We're going to see the Farah. We've got to see, obviously, the Pro Bastion brought out even more. The Reinhardt mirror. We even saw London try for it there as well. These two teams are adapting to each other, and it's giving us a kind of game of Overwatch that you just won't see anywhere else right now. Don't worry about record. Don't worry about storylines. These two teams are willing to try some off-the-wall stuff to find success in this series. So stick around for Esperanza. It's bound to be explosive.